All right, let's get right into it. Today, we are talking about a fight that went absolutely nuclear. We're talking about one of the world's top AI companies going head-to-head with the full power of the US government.
Seriously, just think about that for a second. The AI assistant that you have in your pocket right now, the one you trust with your text, your calendar, your whole life, what if the military could just flip a switch and turn it into its own personal spy, with you as the target? You know, that's not science fiction. That is the exact question at the very heart of this high-stakes showdown. It's a battle over code, contracts, and our civil rights that could literally redefine our future. And for us, for our community, it opens a door that you might not see coming. Now, if stories like this are what you're here for, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and definitely drop a comment below with any other topics you want us to take a deep dive into.
So, who's in the ring for this heavyweight bout? Well, in one corner, you've got Anthropic. They're an AI company founded on the principle of safety, and a lot of people see them as the most ethically minded player in the whole game. And in the other corner, the Pentagon, pushing a brand new super aggressive AI-first agenda for the US military.
Okay, so this is where it all comes to a head. Anthropic drew a hard line in the sand. They said their powerful AI model Claude would never, ever be used for two things: mass surveillance of Americans and fully autonomous weapons. The Pentagon's response? No. They demanded the right to use the tech for any lawful purpose, and they were not about to let some private company tell them what they could and couldn't do.
Now, here's the most crucial part. These weren't just, some company policies they wrote out and put on their website. Anthropic literally built these ethical refusals into the AI's code. The technology was designed at a deep technical level to say no to these specific uses because the company believed they were just too dangerous for the world right now.
But from the Pentagon's point of view, this was a massive overstep, right? They saw a tech company trying to tell the military how to run national security. They saw it as this incredibly dangerous precedent, basically Silicon Valley trying to take control of the Department of Defense.
But this thing didn't stay behind closed doors. Oh no. This wasn't some quiet contract dispute. It exploded into a full-blown public war, fueled by accusations, intense political pressure, and direct threats coming from the very highest levels of government.
Just look at how fast this fire spread. In January, the Pentagon sets its new agenda. By late February, officials in the Trump administration are out there publicly attacking Anthropic, calling their safety concerns politically correct, woke AI. Anthropic holds its ground, and the very next day, the President of the United States orders a complete government-wide ban on the company. This all went down in just a few weeks. It was insane.
And the Pentagon wasn't just talking. They brought out the heavy artillery. First, they threatened to cancel their massive $200 million contract. Ouch. Then, they threatened to use the Defense Production Act, that's a Cold War-era law, to literally force the company to remove its safety features. And then, they pulled out the nuclear option, labeling Anthropic a supply chain risk. Now, you have to understand, that's a label they save for foreign adversaries like Huawei. It has never been used on an American company before.
The attacks got personal, and they got vicious. The DoD's Undersecretary for Research and Engineering publicly accused Anthropic CEO Dario Alade of having a God complex and of actively putting our nation's safety at risk. See, this wasn't a policy debate anymore. It was a character assassination.
And then the message came from the very, very top. President Trump himself framed Anthropic's ethical stance not as a simple disagreement, but as a disastrous mistake that was putting American lives in jeopardy. They completely turned a contract negotiation into a national security crisis.
So, why does a fight between a tech giant and the government matter to us? Why should black women in tech be paying super close attention to this? Because the consequences of this fallout hit right at the heart of our civil rights and our future in this industry.
Let's be crystal clear about what we're talking about when we say mass surveillance. This isn't just about collecting a little data. It's about monitoring people, whole populations on a massive scale, often without their knowledge or consent, in ways that directly challenge our fundamental rights to privacy and freedom.
And I really want you to think about this question. When we talk about the government using powerful new technology to watch its own citizens, who historically has been on the receiving end of that? It's us. It's black communities, it's our civil rights leaders, it's our activists. The history is long, it is painful, and this fight over AI, well, it's just the 21st century chapter of that very same story.
And here's the immediate result of all that pressure. Anthropic gets banned. So who steps right in to take their place and grab those government contracts? You guessed it, competitors like OpenAI and Elon Musk's xAI, companies that have shown they are way more willing to meet the Pentagon's demands, no questions asked.
The message sent to the entire tech industry is now crystal clear. If you raise ethical red flags, if you dare to push back against government overreach, you will be punished, and you will be replaced. This has a chilling effect on any company that might want to do the right thing in the future.
Now look, it would be really easy to see all of this as just a threat, but I see it differently. In this crisis, in this collision of power and technology, there is a massive, untapped opportunity for us.
That's right. This fight has blown open a whole new career field. It has created an urgent, high-stakes demand for professionals who don't just understand the code, but who understand the consequences. People who can navigate that complex intersection of AI, policy, and civil liberties. And that sounds like a perfect fit for Black women in tech, doesn't it?
And these are not just buzzwords. These are real, high-impact, high-paying jobs that are in demand right now because of conflicts exactly like this one. Companies, government agencies, they desperately need people who can prevent these kinds of disasters before they happen. They need people with our perspective. And here is your roadmap, your path to the driver's seat. Step 1, master the tech. Really understand what it can and can't do. Step 2, specialize in the rules, the ethics, the safety, the governance. Step 3, build your voice. Become the expert who analyzes policy, who writes and speaks on these issues. And then, Step 4, get in the room where these decisions are being made. This is how we move from being the subjects of technology to being the architects of it.
So I'm going to leave you with this thought. A company tried to embed ethics directly into its code, and the government tried to rip it out. This battle is going to be fought over and over again. The only real question is, who's going to be at the table making the decisions next time? Thank you for being part of Our Black Girls Guide's mission to bring awareness to our community and put us in the driver's seat of emerging technology. Learn more with the Our Black Girls Guide book series available on Amazon.